Tyson Fury says to Wilder and Anthony Joshua that he will never lose. We're going to talk about that. Tyson Fury warns Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua he will never lose his unbeaten record. Sky Sports. This is a interview they just recently did, link in the description. Tyson Fury believes he will never lose his unbeaten record despite the looming threat of fights against dangerous punchers like Wilder and Joshua. Fury defends against Wilder October 9th, and he says, speaking in an interview with The Overlap, which contains language some may find offensive. Damn, the UK, is that, say that? I don't know, that's crazy that they had to warn you. He said, I've never lost a fight. I don't think I'll ever lose a fight. No, I don't think I will. I don't think there's nobody out there to beat me. Joshua has reiterated his desire for a blockbuster battle, but Fury insists the British rival's shock loss to Joshua is proof that he should not look too far ahead for his future fights. How can he have me if I've got Wilder in a rematch? The big thing is, I'll tell you what they always do. He already fell victim to it. They talk about fights that's not happening. Everybody wants to talk about me, about the Joshua fight. They don't care about the fight that I'm having. All of a sudden, they want me to overlook what I'm doing and get chinned. I'm laid on my back flat by Wilder, and he's taking my position. They've all been beaten. I've got Wilder next, and provided I get through that, then I've got AJ. Before, it was like I had conquered the world and nothing else I wanted to do. When I was young, only Klitschko was a world champion, so I was always looking at him. When I completed it, it was game over for me. Now, I'm just gonna make this short and sweet. Fury talks a lot of gibberish. That's just the baseline of what we're dealing with here. Because he's saying so many, he's just such a walking contradiction. It doesn't even make sense to overly try to spend time breaking it down. It just doesn't make sense. 1 minute he's saying no one can beat me in this era. I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. But then he says, providing I get by Wilder. This doesn't sound like true confidence to me. I don't know what confidence sounds like to you guys, but he keeps talking about Wilder as a monstrous puncher. But then he's also saying he's so good, he can't be beaten, which is cap because we've seen Wilder in the first fight knock him unconscious, and that very well could have been a stoppage loss there. I know Fury's lying and saying, oh, he's on a 3-year layoff and he didn't train for the fight, but he's lying because one, he wasn't off a 3-year layoff. He had 2 tune-ups, Safari and Francisco Pianeta, one of which Wilder attended and got in the ring after. And then beyond that, he did train for the fight because he was training at Abel Sanchez's gym in Big Bear. He had Ricky Hatton, Freddie Roach. He went to the Wildcard gym. That's where Nicholas Asbury accused him of having the tampered gloves. So more lies from Tyson Fury. He's talking about no one can beat him, but then he's saying Wilder is super dangerous and providing he gets past Wilder. And he's, ironically enough, he's saying Joshua wants me to get chinned and look beyond Wilder, but you said Wilder's nothing. But he's in fact doing that because he's done interviews himself where he said that he wants to fight, and he gave like a bucket list of fights he wants to fight. He said he wants to fight Dillian White, he wants to fight Wilder, he wants to fight Joshua and Derek Chisora. So the same thing you said in this interview that Joshua, you said gave Joshua trouble because Joshua looked past his Ruiz fight, you're doing it too. So it's like the pot calling the kettle black. You said that Joshua overlooked what was in front of him and he messed up and made a fatal mistake. But then you've also talked about fighting Dillian White and Chisora, and you haven't gotten past the October 9th fight with Wilder. So as you guys can see, the man is all over the place, and I'm picking Wilder. I think anybody that is acting like Fury lacks true confidence. He's saying and he's talking a good game, and he wants people to believe in that. But the more that you derive from what your earlier notions were in that small space of time, the less likely me as a person I am to believe you. Because as I always say on the channel, a man has to be congruent with what he says. If he says I'm this and that and no one could beat me, then you got to rep that. But and the other thing is he's talking about Joshua and he's like, yeah, people want to keep talking about Joshua, but I got Wilder in front of me. Part of the reason people are talking about you and Joshua is because you, Frank Warren, Bob Arum, your team your station, ESPN, Eddie Hearn, and Joshua and his team all colluded and talked about the fight was happening and the contracts were signed and the location was done, Saudi Arabia, and how much the site fee was and how much the fighters were going to get for their purses. Now you lose an arbitration and you don't want people to talk about further than your upcoming fight, which I don't think Fury gets past with Deontay Wilder. But you're the causation. You're really a big part of why people are talking about things outside of Wilder, right? You and your team, along with other people, like I just said, Eddie Hearn, you guys all did this to yourselves, and you guys all created this necessity for people to talk about a fight that wasn't going to happen. So I don't believe Fury. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, like the video, use my affiliates below. Deuce.